Hi everyone, so this is an unboxing and installation video for the Nextbase 522GW. This is a limited edition bundle. I got it from Halfords, but you can also get it from Amazon as well. I'll put a link in the description below. So with this you get obviously the front facing camera itself, a rear view wired module, a 32GB SD card that is upgradable up to 128GB. So again, I'll put a link in the description below for one that I'm going to order from Amazon. And it also comes with a Series 2 carry case as well. So this will be able to take the 322GW up to the 622GW. Some quick statistics. So it's got 2K video, click and go pro mount with GPS module included, 3-inch high definition touchscreen. It gives you GPS speed and location. It's Wi-Fi connected, so it's compatible with iOS and Android. There is an app, so you can view the footage from there, but it also gives you things like telemetry data using that GPS. And the GPS is also used for the emergency response as well. So if you are in an accident, if you don't cancel and your phone is connected, then it will call the nearest emergency services based on your location. And it's also got Alexa built in as well, so you can, I don't have Alexa, but you can control things like home smart devices. So you can ask it to turn on the lights if you're out and about, or you can ask it just questions like what's the weather like for the rest of the day, that kind of thing. So for the installation part, we'll unbox this in a sec. You're going to need some kind of electrical tape or masking tape. I've got this soft twist wire as well, just to help pull it through some channels. Might use this, might not need it, depends on how difficult it is. Some panel removal tools, so you can get these from like eBay or Amazon, pretty cheap. I've got some cable ties as well, so for any loose or remaining wire that's not used, I can sort of wrap that up. I'll also show you a trick how to use this to pull it through some of the rubber sort of grommets and channels. And also to help with that, just to lubricate those, you can use some lubricant. And you might need sort of some flexible wire of some sort to help thread it through some tight gaps. You can use, I've got here a coat hanger, so I've just unwound that. So a long piece of coat hanger, and I'll show you how we might use that if needed. So let's go ahead with the unboxing. So you've got obviously the dash cam, the click and go pro mount with GPS, 12 and 24 volt power cable, which is 4 meters long. I will be using that, so I won't be doing a fuse box or a hardwire install. If you want to see how that's done, I've done that on my VW Touran, so I'll put a link in the card above. You can go off and have a look at that video on how to do that. It's also got a USB charging cable. So one point to note, you do have to charge the camera for about 2 hours before you use it. So that's highly recommended. So as soon as you unbox it, put it straight onto charge. It's got a reflection-free lens as well, so polarizing lens, so to reduce glare and reflection. A suction mount, so you can temporarily, or you can move it between cars basically. So if you've got the wire kit or you use the 12 volt, you can basically put it on any car, so it's not a permanent fixture. It comes with 3M sticky tape, so if you do use this installation, then that will be fixed to your windscreen. It's got a power cable fitting tool, so that's similar to the ones I showed you here, some of these panel removal tools, but it's good that it comes with one, so if you don't have those, then you could probably get away with just using that. Quick start guide, the carry case, a 32GB SD card, and it says rear window module, and it's got the plug-in ones, but it's actually the wired one in this, as you can see there. So, opening it up. got some of the safety systems in this box up here, so this is shifted to the left on a right-hand drive car. Other things you need to consider is just your sun visor position. So you know, if you do have the modules, the cabin module or the rear view camera module that fits and looks back from the front, that can be compromised, and I'll show you that in my other car, the Touran over there. So yeah, just consider all that kind of stuff. And as I said before, look, you've got a screen here, a screen on your dash, so you don't want too much you know, just distractions basically. So you could mount it sort of here. You won't be able to obviously access or function without, you know, tilting your head around. So when I tried putting it up here, it comes in front of the mirror. The other options are to place it over here. It's out of my sight, line of sight, so the screen wouldn't distract me, but other passengers obviously could see it. And you could put it on the passenger side as well, but then that's a bit distracting. So I may just centralize it here. I think that might be the best option. The downside to that is that any wiring would have to be closely sort of you know, sort of wrapped around the edge of this box. So I want as little wiring showing as possible. See, this is quite a steeply raked windscreen, so that should do it. Because this swivels, so this moves a lot, you don't really need the camera on when you're doing this. You just need a clean surface, and you just need to, yeah, mount it so it's straight, really. That always helps, just aesthetically, but obviously it's got a swivel, so if you don't get it perfect, you can move it around. Once you've cleaned the area, take off the sticky tape and just apply some pressure so it holds in place nicely. Just give it an even push, and that should do it. And then you can fit the camera again. It just makes it a bit easier. And then it does have an internal battery, so you can switch it on and just have a quick look. Yeah, that looks fine to me. So I've basically used the corners of the bonnet. There's some black plastic in the corners, just where the wipers end, just as a reference, so I can see you know, the viewing angle basically. And it's out of my line of sight. It's not going to distract me. You can see there my strategy was keep it as close and in line with this box as possible. So when I plug in the wire here, it goes straight up, and then when I put the rear view camera into the HDMI socket, that also goes up the same way. So I just need to make sure, obviously it's quite a tight fit at the top of the roof panel here. So I need to, obviously both wires need to fit in there, so it might just be a bit of a squeeze, but we'll give it a go. And you can see there how the picture looks. Right, so we're going to start at the back of the car here. So we're going to run the wire through this channel, across the top of the boot and through the centre, and then place the camera there, and then we'll run the wire going towards the front camera across this panel. So let's start by removing the channel here. So these just plug out of the holes that they're sitting in. Yeah, a little bit of a squeeze. You just got to just wiggle it out a bit and it'll pop out. So yeah, I did struggle a little bit with this, but it's easier than it looks. Just got to be sure there's these little grooves that go in to the hole, just to make it more secure. And it is a very tight fit as well. So this is the end that connects to the rear camera, and then this is the mini HDMI end that connects to the front camera. Got a little tip there, so you use the GT85 or any lubricant really, just to spray down the 85 down there. And then what I've done is I've got one of the cable ties, wrapped that around the end of the wire there that will fit into the back of the camera. I'm just threading it through this channel. So it is very tight. You do need to sort of massage it through. Compress the channel as well, and then just give the cable tie a bit of a tug. I did wrap the end of the wire and the cable tie with some tape as well, some strong tape, just so it doesn't get lost in there. And this took about 10-15 minutes. I mean, it's a bit of a challenge, but once it's lubricated, it's much easier. You can also spray the wire as well. And there you can see, look, the wires come through, and then once the main part's through, then it's pretty easy to thread it. So you can see the HDMI end is still sort of wrapped up. Just keep that to one side, and yeah, just pulling the wire through as long as I need it, basically, to reach the centre of the boot lid. So at that point there. Simply use the tool just to pry these rubber grommets off. Come off really easily. Then we're going to thread the wire up through here, across here, into the middle and into the centre. Here I've taken the coat hanger, just threaded it all the way through so it comes out at the end there. So I'm just going to stick the wire to the back of that, and then I just pull it backwards, and it'll come out where we want it. I have it pulled back the wire now, so you can see that's coming through there. So I've connected the camera now to the wire that we threaded through. I've also applied some tape there because the bodywork is quite sharp, so when it comes to closing it back in, I just want to protect it. So we want to place it somewhere in between those heating elements on the rear window. So we'll go ahead and just put the plug back. So these are the ones that we removed earlier. They go in fairly easily. There will be a slight gap there, but shouldn't cause any issue in terms of like water ingress or anything like that. It's fairly solid. If you do have any doubts, maybe just fill that with something to stop that, but looks okay from my side. And then the next challenge here is then getting the HDMI side, so the mini HDMI, through the body. So I put a cable tie through here, so I had to remove some of the weather lining on that corner. That then gives you access to the head lining, to the roof lining, and then you just thread the cable tie through that gap. It's quite easy to do. And then what we did was we just put some tape around the end of the wire where the HDMI end is, onto that cable tie, and then just obviously taped it up and pulled it through. So you can see now I'm pulling through the wire, and now we're on the inside. So then I got to that point there, threaded it behind the plastic, and then just tucked it in using the prying tool. And then you simply, so I'm just tuck the wire behind here, running it along the weather lining here. You can see I'm just tucking it in as I go along. I'm not taking it off. It's well hidden in here, and there's no need to take the weather lining off. And that's it. You just run that all the way along. See, across here. You don't have to worry about the airbag. The airbag's actually up here. Right, there's quite a lot of excess cable or slack left over here, so in hindsight maybe I would have kept that in the boot, but thinking about it, it is all sort of metal back there, so you maybe get some cables rattling around. So what I decided to do was remove the weather lining on the driver's side door. That then gives you a good gap. There's much more space here in the head lining, and I just tuck the wire in that section there, so it's just above the driver's head. It shouldn't move around there, it should be fine up there. and just close that back up. Now I'm fitting the power cable for the front camera, so that's gone in. See, it's got this, I don't know, it's like an anti-static type thing that stops it interfering with the DAB radio, I think, or the GPS. So I'm just running that wire along here, down here, inside the rubber lining down here, and then I'm going to tuck it behind the slack cable behind here. There's a gap, and then just down into the power socket down there. So you can see what I've done here. I've put some tape here. Any other slack I just hid up in this hole here. You probably won't be able to see it, but just tucked it under there, put some tape on the top of that, and then taped it to the metal tray underneath. Fed the wire underneath, so through there, and then under this section here. So this is probably where the heating system is for the footwell for the driver's side. The wire just comes out here. Then again, I've used some electrical tape on the metal here, so it sticks well to sort of metal. So I put that on the wire and tucked it up there, and then it just runs alongside there into the 12 volt. And as you can see, the car is on. It's not powered on, but the ignition is on, and the camera is receiving power. So you can see the rear view camera is obviously there. It's got a really good view. I also fitted some electrical tape just up here as well, because of this device here that stops electrical interference, I think, with the DAB radios and such. That's a bit heavier than the wire for the rear view camera, so it hangs down. So I just taped it to the top there. In the MG4, obviously, to power off, you have to go into this menu here, so the car menu, go along to safety and power off the car, and then you'll see the camera loses power then as a result. So you see it switches off. If I lift out of the seat, because there is no start button, and then sit back down like so, then you'll see the systems restart, and then the camera gets power. So there is no SD card in there at the moment, but just to show you that's all working properly. And this 12 volt, it won't drain your battery obviously, because it only powers up when the car is switched on. So that's the installation video, guys, for the Nextbase 522GW and an MG4. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe, share the video. If you got any tips on how I can improve this installation, then comment below. Thanks very much.